That's too easy.
Really? This isn't easier and faster? Well, I just did.
I don't know what's faster.
I just did it.
I just don't want to be accused of
Connecting any cables.
of
You won't unless you do, like you did last week.
Sabotaging the podcast.
Was that good?
Yeah, I like it over here.
So I think the only cars I can get now is a Toyota Volt.
God, Jason,
No, Ford.
stop it.
What was a bad Ford car? I forgot what it was. Ford, not Prius. Right. Wait, does Ford own Prius?
Toyota.
Yoda's own.
Dude, you should get a new Prius.
Think of the Prius Leaf.
So I've always, it's not called a Leaf. I've always hated Prius. What? It's a Nissan Leaf.
Is that what that is?
Yes, it's not
Okay,
a Prius
thank
Leaf.
you.
Prius is it's Toyota Prius. It's a Nissan Leaf.
I don't
What
know.
car is this guy? I don't know. That camera's so far away.
Yeah, I don't
The
know.
new.
You did
So
that.
I've always been
It's up to
someone
you.
I hated Priuses. Grossest car.
Well, yeah.
That and Miatas. Grossest car.
I forgot about Miatas.
And
I
then-
almost forgot about them.
The 2024, 2025, 2024 Prius
It's
came out.
look blurry in this on the left and the wide, just so you know.
She doesn't know how to focus.
The 2023, 2024, 2025. I can't remember which one it is. 2024, 2025. Prius came out. It looks like a fucking Lamborghini. It looks nice, and you get like 70 miles to the gallon. It's only $30,000. You should get a Prius.
Is that because they hired ex Porsche executives, designers?
Is that true?
Yeah, there's a company that actually, they retired and then they immediately hired them to make a vehicle. No. I'm sorry. I think that was Mitsubishi that actually hired them, like ex designers, and then it's like, can you make a car? And then they made the car. Let me see. Is Nissan Leaf?
Check. Must be.
I'm sorry, Brittany.
Hello and welcome to the SYWB podcast, where I should become a therapist.
You're gonna have to keep time. There is nothing on the screen. Okay.
Where we talk about the drama of the restaurant industry and our lives around it. I'm Dylan.
And I'm Jason. And this is my
You're gonna
dog,
fall.
Brett.
Looks like you're gonna fall.
Brett. What are you doing? You have to sit here. Or is this your notion to sit right in the middle? Okay, still gonna sit in the middle?
Here, move the
Oh,
mic
there
more
you
towards
go.
your face.
All right. Sorry about that. And I'm Jason, and this is my little doggy, Brittany. You've seen her numerous times on the podcast.
And I'll say it again. I should be a therapist.
Gonna be a fucking crazy session with you. I know that for a fact.
I got a lot going on.
Could you imagine being a therapist and just like you're just taking notes, and then they say the right thing, and you're like, I fucking knew it.
That's when I knew that I was gay.
Yeah,
I knew it.
knew it.
Anything that you have, Jason?
I have been gone for a week, so I actually have no stories.
You haven't worked in a week?
Yeah,
Why?
because I was spending time with family.
It was Jason's birthday, and he's a teenage girl, so he took a whole week off, apparently.
Yeah, unlike this guy who took 2 weeks off and has not accomplished the goal of the 2 weeks. I'm just kidding.
Wow.
Poor you. That's a horrible actually. That actually did sound hurtful.
Too far.
Yeah, I was gonna say, was that too far? I think so.
You hit too heavy, too fast, Jason. This is the beginning of the
sorry.
podcast. Jesus Christ.
Oh, yeah, I feel bad.
I know that
saying
I'm a
now.
failure, but Jesus.
Who said that?
Cut to him.
Who said that?
That's who said it.
Nah.
Just now.
That's such a dick move. Actually, could
You
you?
only make notes 1 week at a time. You don't have any previous notes.
I'm looking at them now, but I feel like I might have talked to most of them already.
Oh, yeah, because they got too specific at one point.
Yeah, that's the one I had to sit back. They
Mm.
did get too specific.
I can feel my mustache hairs touching the microphone.
I only have one for wine pouring. I feel like everyone has done this. It was out of pettiness, kind of. So it was a table of 6. One guy, he always claimed that he's like been there from the start. He's always been here. He's part of the business, part of the relations. I never seen this man. Ever. I was like, I've been here, longer than you. I'm like, sir, I've been here for 2 years. these 2 years I have not met you at all.
What are you talking about?
This was during the morning shift. And he's like, oh, I've always come here. And so,
Oh, a guest.
yes, it was a guest.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I think table 6. Table 6 or 5, they were there. And he's like, I want a bottle of wine. You know, I want the most excellent wine. He ends up choosing the poorest wine that we have there. And I was like, I don't think
Well,
you
hey
know
now,
your taste
hey.
of wine.
Cheap doesn't mean I'm gonna vomit.
Yeah, but not your energy. I don't care about
That's
that.
the name of the podcast,
Yeah.
apparently.
So, I remember we were starting out as server, and they taught us, how the pour formation is. You know, you give the sample to
Even
the
I know
first
that.
guest, yeah, and after that you go around. When he got his taste, he was being all this dramatic. He was like going around. He was like, "What is this?" He put it to the side and started twisting it.
In your head, sir, this was $39.
And yeah, I was like, "Sir, this was $40, and we don't even want to sell this."
This was
'cause it just,
$39.47.
like, yeah.
I think the legs are fine on the wine. I think you're good.
Yeah, and then he was like, "Give it to anyone else who wants it." And I was like, "You mean everybody else? Because their hands are raised. I don't know if this was you and one other person, but okay." So I grabbed the glasses, I put them in back, and then I poured each one. And obviously, there's an actual lever you're supposed to pour them. I know the bin rule is that you're supposed to make sure that at least some of it gets to every glass. I was really mad at this man. I don't know why, but I poured the usual 6 ounces to each one, and then the bottle of wine finished. And so when it came back to him, he was like, "I want more." I was like, "Sir, the bottle's finished." And he was like, "I want to talk to your manager." I was like, "Sir, the bottle is
What?
finished. There are 6 of you. You have all wanted the glass of wine. It is done." He's like, "You know how expensive it is?" I'm like, "Sir, it is $40."
What was the
I'm
actual price?
sorry. I think it was. I would probably think it was like 50. I think 50. It was one of. It was the one that you actually just
be
there's no
fair-
cork. You just twist it off and you just
Oh
pour it
my
around. So I
God.
was like, no
You
offense.
didn't have to cork it.
Yeah, no, I was like, here's the wine. Here it is. Is 2023. Do you want it? He's like, yes. I'm like, there you go. That's it. That's it.
Do you know what that actually means? If it's $50, that means we bought it for $20.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think that. Yeah, I was thinking. I was like, I think this is the stuff you can find at Walmart or like at Publix for like 20 or 30 or something like.
It's probably 30. We're not gonna do a twice markup for a wine, but
Yeah. But then he was like, to get another bottle, that's apologies with these prices. I'm like, no.
you just start seeing them pour into his glass a little bit, like drip,
I
all
wish
6
it
of
was
them.
something like that. I wish it was something like that. Like, here, you can have my glass.
Like you see
Or
him in
like
the background of
something
his
like
waving his hands like this, and all of his friends just start dipping, dip.
Yeah, no. He did ask for another glass, and then he wanted to do a decanter, and I was like, "Sir, this wine does not need it. I'm sorry, but I'll
It was
do it
made
for
2
you."
weeks ago. I think it's breathing.
I don't think it aged at all, my good sir. I think they just threw it in the bottle and said, "All right, happy wishes."
There's actually still grape
We
stems in
still
there.
had some grapevines in there by accident. We just didn't care anymore.
No, that's just herbs and spices. It's not
The
grapevines.
herbs and
It's like
spices.
grape.
Yeah. It gives it the earthy texture. I'm like, no,
Tastes like a salad.
like a salad on the go. You get drunk too.
I don't have the video.
Oh.
Because that reminds me of something else we gotta talk about. But I have a dash cam, right?
Uh-oh.
And let's just say you owe me more than $10. And it loop records, so every 2 days it comes full. So about maybe every 2 days the video's gone. This was like it was like a week ago now. Because you haven't worked in a week. But one night I was requested to take Jason home from work. And all was well. All was good in the hood. Good in the neighborhood is what I meant.
Mm-hmm.
Drop Jason off, drive away. And as I'm driving down a close road, I see a cardboard box, like a to-go box on the street. That's weird. It's like under a light. It's perfectly lit at night. That's kind of weird. Kept driving. Drove over it. And all of a sudden I hear, so much so that I pull over to see what the fuck just happened. It was a brick. Apparently a very tall brick. My car has about 4 inches maybe. Apparently, it was a 4.5-inch brick because that sucker bounced.
That's
and
a pretty big brick.
It's a very average sized brick.
Wait, so like the brick was in the box? Is that
There was no
what you-
box. It looked like it was a big brick. In my head, I thought it
Oh,
was.
it just looked like some box. You're like,
Yeah.
okay, cool, and then you went.
Yeah.
I was like, oh no.
Yeah. Some dude's mailbox they were building. I guess they just decided, I don't need this. Whoop, chuck it in the middle of the street.
Oh, I hate that.
There's a new dent in my skid pan,
Sucks.
skid plate. Luckily, I have a skid plate. Otherwise, my oil pan could have been leaking.
Yeah, that would have been demolished, honestly.
Yeah, I'd buy a new oil pan and tow my car.
That would have sucked.
Big old dent though. Like I saw the red brick. I have a bright flashlight. I was able to. I almost threw the brick at that guy's window. But it wasn't an eye for an eye. It was just a dent. So I didn't. Well, to be fair, I dented his brick. So I guess it was, maybe I owe him $1.
Oh, you did, yeah. You shared his property, quote unquote, since it was his brick on his
All right,
own
eye
name.
for an eye. We're even
Yeah,
for now.
that sucks, man. That really.
I actually pulled over. I was scared. Thought something happened. I just welded my exhaust back together. So I thought maybe it popped the welds.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I was like, oh no.
Car was getting kind of loud.
Yeah. Man, this exhaust is putting in the work today. Oh my god.
I wish I saved the video. I'm so lazy about taking the SD card out because you could slowly see the brick coming. And I didn't have the audio on either, so you would have saw me pull over for no reason.
I would have been just like a silent horror at that point.
So I'll take more than $10 to fix my skid plate.
Yeah, we're not doing that. I don't need that right now.
Money.
I don't have money. You see what my check was? It's horrendous.
No, but mine was really bad too, and I was upset.
No.
Worse than yours, I bet, because you're a fucking waiter.
I doubt it. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm not gonna say anything. No.
Out my ass.
Society.
Out my hand in your ass. Wait, no.
Ew. This is nasty
I
as
meant
hell.
fist. Wait, is that word?
The word doesn't count. The word that wasn't the word that needed to be changed.
I meant foot. I meant foot.
That word didn't need to be changed.
Oh, did you cut away? Oh, you cut. Damn it! You cut away from me. I was doing the fist motion. Is this how you do it? That's what I've been told by the internet. Is this right? That's how you fist, right?
No,
Like this
that's-
isn't how you fist.
Oh, that's just
This is right.
safe
No.
fist.
All right, Joel doesn't know what you're talking about.
This.
That's not how you fist.
Okay. If
This is-
you're in
no,
a
this is the-
fight, is this a fist or is this a fist?
Are we talking about fighting? Do you still think we're talking about fighting? I gotta have so many bleeps. I guess I'm saying.
I know you said his name 3 different times. I was like, oh, man.
Do you know the act of fisting, Joel? Damn it.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
You
The true act of the
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Banging.
the peaceful act of
Peaceful.
fisting.
You go like this. You don't just start pumping. Why are you texting me?
I'm
Like a
not.
lawnmower.
Like
Like a
don't Google it.
You don't grab it like a
Oh, I'm
lawnmower
Googling.
and go haja.
Google
No.
sexual fisting.
I am.
If it's not porn, like weird porn, you start like this. Damn it.
It's not weird.
You know what I mean? Sometimes
I
like
guess
pain.
so. No, I know what you mean.
please
It's so
don't
weird.
Google image that. You will never.
It's
you will never
so
look back.
disgusting. It's so unreal.
All right.
No,
You wanna do the-
I like the idea of like you can't just go in there. I was like a lawnmower. Like you can't just yeah, like
You
no.
definitely don't grip it.
No.
Was I right?
No.
What are you talking about?
Oh, he got the Wikipedia on
Why
it.
is there a how-to? That's not a fist.
Oh, there's a whole history of it.
There's a
That's
how-to
not a
on it.
fist.
Yes, it is.
Crazy.
What does it say? Read it. Read the article.
I love the internet because it's so
Fisting,
obscene.
also known as fist fucking.
Just like this. That's what I said. It's called the silent duck. It's all, I feel like it wouldn't be very silent when they're doing this. Well, it's two dudes.
Thinking about the Italiano
I'm
Pisano.
good.
Hey,
Shaped V letter. This. Why do you think they do this in Italian? Huh?
For vendetta.
You think they're talking about spaghetti? No, it's anal. That's what they're talking about, right, Jason? You know?
they're the only ones that say it nonchalant. Why you be so anal today?
You're
I'm like, hey,
Italian.
bro,
Blah, blah,
chill.
blah, blah.
There goes my dinner tonight. I was going to make spaghetti. meatballs. Asshole.
Just don't make meatballs and you're good.
No, I just said spaghetti and meatballs.
Yeah, that's what
That's
you
it.
make.
Just don't make meatballs and you're good.
They're already made in the song.
Oh, he's already got them ready. He's just wanting to go home and eat
God,
them.
that's funny.
It's
No,
too funny.
it's disgusting.
It is for you. It's funny for me.
Now it's going to be. Leave it alone.
All right. So did we do the
I make a
longest part of the
spicy
podcast right now?
meatball.
This is the longest topic we're going to have the whole podcast?
I hope not.
Might as well start it now. Oh. I'm not going to do that. Whatever. So Linkin Park
Oh boy.
got a new singer.
Yep.
I know.
First, I want to hear Deep Tissue input. Real fast input.
My favorite are the comments.
Did you watch the live?
I'm disappointed.
Did you watch the whole thing?
No. I'm
watched the whole thing.
disappointed. She's very good. I'm disappointed because I've seen a guy on TikTok who is 10,000 times better. That's my only complaint. Will I go see them? Absolutely. Linkin Park is in my top 7.
And here's what was wrong. Damn it! Deep Dish.
Why?
Right there,
Why do I
It's hard
have
for
to be
me.
wrong about
I know.
my
Yo, what was
opinion?
wrong with
Oh,
that?
because opinions are based off facts. And if they're not, then they're wrong.
I've stated two
Since when?
facts. I stated 2 facts. The girl
Fact
and the guy on TikTok that I followed.
is better. That's
And that's
opinion.
way more than I
In
thought.
my opinion, he is much better than her. I'm not saying she's bad. I'm saying he's better.
And here's why he's wrong.
Oh my God, is my witness. Jason, can you please?
Some people forget that we're on a
Yes.
podcast and we're supposed to be dramatic about our opinions. Anyway.
He's being dramatic.
Um,
No, I will say this. I will say this. The funny thing that came out of it was the comments when I think I sent you the picture on Instagram when they announced it, and then I saw some clips of the actual live that they were doing, and my favorite was like, you can't make the greedy voice. It sounds too feminine. I was like, what? Do you not know who that is? Like, and then I think the other one was like, oh, it's too high pitch, for a guy. I'm like, it's a girl. Why? And then I think the last one was the long hair makes it hard. Short hair should have been better. And I was like, it's because it's a girl. Did you just look at the clip and just assume or anything? Like those were the ones, the top 3 of them on top of my head that were like the funniest part. But what I will say about her singing in general is it's her first actual event, right? Like there has been nothing else before that, right? Yeah.
with Linkin Park. Yeah.
Yeah. So then, but she's gonna. I think she's gonna do well because I didn't listen to much of the Linkin Park event. What I did with my brother who was here, we actually listened to her band. She came from a band. We listened to her music, and honestly, some of the notes from the few songs that she did sounded perfect. What I think they wanted for Linkin Park's next album. I just didn't understand why. Well, then again, I didn't see the whole thing, so maybe they actually did use the notes that she usually sang for her other songs. But if they didn't, it was kind of odd that they didn't want to do that. But other than that, I think they're a step in the right direction. Oh no.
That's not working.
Maybe because the quality's too low. We're having some technical difficulties, ladies and gentlemen.
So that note is absolutely perfect. Done.
Mm-hmm.
What I've done. That's really where I.
Yeah, and that's what I've been like from her. No, it's Amazon truck. They always drive. It's weird. They do a lot of drive-bys. It makes me laugh. Like they drive and drop something and then they leave. I think it's always funny because like the past week I've seen them drive and I just see them like just lay it on the ground.
Anyway,
and then they don't even stop. They just ba ba ba. And they drive
cutting all
away.
that out. It's like I'm hitting a brick on the road. Blah blah blah. So
Okay.
this is why it's going to take so long to talk about this. This is the note, Jason, for this.
Mm-hmm.
It's one note.
That's good. Yes. For those who can't figure it out by now, Dylan is a huge Linkin Park fan.
Eh.
A recent.
That's not true. When
Technically speaking, I think so, because you said you discovered them after
Yeah.
shut your mouth.
his,
Stop. People are gonna take my opinion lowly now.
No, they're not.
When-
He's a
Yeah,
bigger
yeah,
fan
we
than
are.
any one of us.
We
so.
have.
It's such a different response. No.
When this happened with two other bands in the alt rock area, I know Linkin Park's new metal, whatever. The same reactions happened. This is not a new thing.
Yeah.
So for 3 Days Grace, Adam Gontier left, the lead singer. I don't know what. Actually, I do know. He wrote. There's a common theme with everyone else, with all the other bands. Adam Gontier, 3 Days Grace, wrote 3 Days Grace's songs. All of their songs were from his traumas and issues. So when he left, I left. And I went to Saint Sonia whenever that happened. Because it was Adam's music. It wasn't, I don't even know their names, music's. Just because 3 Days Grace is over there, it's not their music. Because Adam made the music. So I'm going to go through the quick point. This is the quick point, and then we're going to go in a longer bit. This is the summarization of it. With Breaking Benjamin, he fired everybody from his band. As far as I know, because when he was in hospital with alcohol brain damage, they released music without his permission, his music. They released acoustic stuff without his permission. So that's, I think, and he sued and fired them all. So when he became a new band, with only him similar, I think maybe one guy, Aaron, was like on and off. But anyway, I stayed with Breaking Benjamin because it was Benjamin's music. He wrote 5-6 albums on his own, and they were just playing the music. With Linkin Park, it's very different. And it's really sad to say, and most people will disagree, it was never Chester's band. Chester made it as special as it was. But I've listened to Chester's music without Mike. It's really bad, really hot take. It's not great. There's a reason he couldn't do his solo stuff and it didn't reach the heights that Linkin Park did.
Mm-hmm.
If you listen to one, it's not bad, but it's just, the only way to explain it is like, it feels like a new writer to songs where he's saying the words that mean what those words mean. There's no extreme deepness to it, like Linkin Park has. I think, I can't remember if it's the band. I can't remember the song. It's like, it's Days Gone. Something about rain. I can't remember the name of the song. I hear that. It's a good song, but it feels like, it just feels way different than Linkin Park. Mike has always been Linkin Park. So before this, I was in the camp, and I actually talked to Orlando about it. About, like, I said, if the announcements that there's a new singer, I think they should have just renamed the band and done something else. And then I saw this up.
Yeah, I heard you say that.
And then I saw this live and heard her sing, and realized what was happening, and realized what Mike did, and then I was all on board. I actually looked for tickets, but I couldn't do it because they're playing in New York in 3 days. I can't really make that. And then Germany next week.
Not with that attitude.
So,
Okay. Still not with that.
maybe it's Germany in November or whatever, but I can't make it to Germany in November.
It's called being in debt.
I have some prior obligations in November. I'm sorry, I can't make it to Germany. I know you're very excited about me going to Germany.
Yeah, no. What essentially what you're saying is there is a true difference between being the face and then being the band itself. And so
Mike is Linkin Park.
with,
It was never Chester's band.
Yeah, and
people
then
don't want to see that. People say that's
well, it's
wrong.
because people don't understand what it means to be the face. Like, yeah, you can have a great singer, but if that singer all he does is sing and does not contribute to the actual meetings, does not contribute to the actual planning, does not contribute to the actual writing of songs,
Real quick,
or does not contribute.
Chester contributed. That's not what I'm saying.
No. I'm saying
I know,
no,
just
no.
to
I'm saying the
clarify.
definition of what the face is. Yeah, no, this is not about Linkin Park at this point. No, I'm just saying if the component, essentially, if the unit itself can be so independent with 4 out of the 5, well, then the fifth one can be replaced, and yes, it will still hurt people because they would only associate with what the face of the band is, and if the fifth one was just that, they're always gonna have issues with that. Now, like I said before, with Linkin Park and with the girl coming in here, I think they are gonna be in good hands because, like I said, I listened to her music, I listened to her band, and the notes that came from theirs were exactly what you would want to hear in a Linkin Park album.
And
Those
I
notes that
watched.
she hit, the grittiness that she had. There was even a song too where like the first note was almost like one note copy of Chester's vocals. You know?
Well, it's got to be the same notes, otherwise the song wouldn't work. It's just the tone has to be there.
Yeah.
Is it by fisting?
Lincoln Park was founded by 3 friends from high school.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Chester was brought in under this guy from a record label, and Chester was about to quit until he convinced him to audition for Linkin Park because they needed a new singer.
Yeah, I know.
My point is, Linkin.
Did you Google
Park,
that or?
Yeah, Linkin Park had a singer prior to him.
I know. That's what I'm saying. It was never Chester's band.
Right.
It was always Mike's band.
Mike and two of his friends from high school.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Mike does all the music, produces most of it.
Sure.
He does all the lyrics.
Sure.
Yeah.
So that's why I think it's so. So what I was saying was, in the shorter term, for the TikToks, if Mike left, or
The impact would be far bigger than people
Then
could
they-
have imagined.
There would be no more.
there would be no Linkin Park.
Yeah, no.
Then you have to change your name, do something else. Like say Chester lived and Mike didn't. You gotta rename and do something else.
Right.
If Mike is gone, I don't know. I'm saying lived. If he left the band, I don't want to put that out there.
Live left, pass. Essentially,
Yeah.
if he were to leave Linkin Park behind, no matter what, Linkin Park
So
itself.
that's
would
where I came from.
not exist.
I went through this many emotions as everyone did because I watched the whole live. They would call me out of work. I was able to watch the whole thing. I called out of work. No, I'm just kidding. I gotta watch this live. I can't make it in.
It's not hard.
Immediately I was like, so I didn't know what the announcement was, and then she came in a minute and a half into this first song, their new song, and I was like, what? I didn't even recognize that it was a new song. I didn't even recognize that at first. I was just like listening and thinking what's going on. I noticed the guitarist was different, the drummer was different. Because of the headphone guy. I don't know their names really, but the headphone guy is how I always see him on the guitar. Wasn't there. I was going through it and I was like, I hope it's not a new singer. I hope it's not a new singer. I hope it's not a new singer. And she came out, or just this person came walking out, didn't know he, she, what. And then she started singing. I was like, because it wasn't a Linkin Park song, so I was like, okay, let me listen to this. And going through all the emotions, it made me realize why. Like, I figured out pretty easily why Mike did what he did. Why he didn't choose a better, amazing singer as a guy. Because there is one guy, I don't remember his first name, but Sizek or something, who's done a bunch of Linkin Park songs, and he has the tone, and he can do those songs. He can do the 17-second scream. He can do all these things. I have all these things written down, but I think I can make them into smaller points. If he just chose a singer that looked or sounded or both like Chester, because there's a cover band called I can't remember what they're called, that looks just like Chester and sounds like him. I think he's Brazilian.
Yep, that makes sense.
No one would be happy. They would all be saying, "You're trying to replace Chester. He doesn't even sound like him. Even if he did sound just like him, it wouldn't sound like them to him. Him to them. It wouldn't. No one would be happy." Linkin Park has gone through many changes with Chester. Meteoria does not sound like One More Light
At all.
at all.
No.
Two different bands. It could be. So this is, why am I getting emotional? This is not replacing. It's just the next step.
Mm-hmm.
And if they got a new guy, it would be replacing.
It would be considered replacing.
It would be replacing. If they got a guy that looked to sound like Chester, it would be replacing. If they got a guy who didn't look or didn't sound like Chester, it would still be replacing Chester. The fact that it's a woman, the fact that she can still sing because Chester's voice was so high and women's voice are built more that way when singing. It's just the next step. They're starting from zero. Thus their name of their album, From Zero. And thus the countdown. Mike knows what he's doing. And immediately I saw all these things on TikTok and I had to comment. My comments have been blowing up lately on TikTok, which is funny. I'm getting like thousands of likes on my comments
That's good.
in general. So I was like, oh, now I feel the need to comment now.
I've learned how to like 1,000 times on TikTok.
Really? What do you mean?
No, that was a joke.
Oh, that's funny. It was all one viewer.
That's the point.
I'm still getting
Um,
religious quotes on mine.
Everyone.
Are you on TikTok?
Yeah. But all that comes up is just.
So this is what I
Jesus.
wrote here.
Do you post?
This is what I wrote here. Mike chose her, so you can choose her too. That's what I've been basically the breakdown to what I said to everyone online who was confused and not know where to stand.
To me, Linkin Park is bigger than the sum of its parts. Does that make sense?
No.
Linkin Park was bigger than just Chester. Not
Yeah, but I disagree
dissing him.
I disagree that it's bigger than Mike. It's not bigger than Mike.
I never said it was bigger than Mike. I said it was bigger than Chester.
Some of his parts. It was one guy who said, "R.I.P. Linkin Park. This is a cover band now." And I answered him saying, "No, this is Linkin Park." That's all I said. Because if it was a new guy who looked and sounded like Chester, that would be a cover band.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be way more of a cover band. Just like the cover band.
Mm-hmm.
The guy who shaved his head to look like Chester. And it would have been weirder because it would have been in like a cloning, uncanny way, versus just starting new with this person. People were also saying things that I really didn't appreciate, which immediately they were destroying her character because they didn't like that she was in the band.
Even though she was already in a band.
So someone was like, did they not do their research on her? They're trying to cancel her immediately.
That's the dumbest comment.
They said, did Mike not do his research on her?
No, he didn't. No.
Because she's apparently, and I meant to look this up before I came here. It's kind of important. I don't want to talk on it without knowing. So I'll correct myself next week if I say something really wrong. But they immediately came out and said she's a Scientologist and she supports a sexual assaulter. You should look it up.
Those are very two crazy things.
On the
that
first
happened.
point, on her being a Scientologist, unless I'm missing something really big, you're either blaming a brainwashed member of a cult, so victim blaming, or you're persecuting someone for their religion. Those are your two options. So choose. I think both of those options are insane.
I assume that it's public that she really is a Scientologist.
I'm assuming that too, which is why I didn't get the chance to research it. So if that is, even if it is true, if it is true, and you're saying that as a negative, you're either victim blaming a brainwashed cult member, or you're bashing someone for their religion. So make a choice on that because both of those are terrible. And to the second point of her supporting a convicted sexual assault, I don't know what's the phrase for it. Sexual assaulter. What's the word?
I don't know what you're trying to define as.
Would
Did she
say-
sexually assault someone?
Don't label
Yeah,
it. Just
not
say
her.
what the problem is first. What's the
So you know that '70s show?
yes?
Yeah.
Forget
Oh,
his-
Danny Masterson.
Okay, well, I was about to say I forget his name. Thanks for reminding me. Apparently, she wrote one of those letters
Right.
describing his character.
She has since retracted that for some reason. I don't know
Since
why.
being the last 2 days or a long time ago.
No, within the last week, I think I read it. I don't remember exactly how long ago. Could have been 2. Could have been 5.
No, the issue is if she only retracted it after she was being called out about it and during Linkin Park, that's a problem.
That is the issue.
But again, I didn't look it up enough. But
She didn't do it prior to Linkin Park.
the only thing is that I have to say about that, which is I have really no defense for it because you shouldn't defend that situation. The issue is people are only saying it because they don't like her in Linkin Park. And when you hear what Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher say, which I trust Ashton Kutcher as a person in these situations because he spent the majority of his adult life working against victims of those things. He has a whole, I don't know if people know this, like they blamed him for doing these things, but he has this, his whole life is now dedicated to saving victims of those situations. So imagine how he felt when he found out his friend was doing those things. People say, oh, he knew the whole time. I doubt it.
But they still supported him after until the media backlash, and then they recanted
That's the
their
thing.
story.
They didn't support him. That's what people are misunderstanding about those letters. It's going to sound like I'm excusing it, but those letters were not a form of support. They were, people call this a lame apology and a lame whatever, but it's the truth, so get over it. It's factual. Those letters were to tell the judge how they knew him their whole lives. It was writing down facts about his life. It was not to defend his actions that he did. It was not to lessen his sentence. It was to give a rounded view of this human that they're going to sentence. It wasn't to get him out of sentencing. It was none of that. It was to give a rounded view of his life because they were close to him. I'm assuming, again, that's why I haven't done the research. I was like, you're saying that. I don't know what her letter said. If she was saying that he didn't do it and he shouldn't be sentenced, that's a problem. Just like being on Epstein's list doesn't mean anything, basically. Just because you wrote that letter, just because you wrote a letter, doesn't mean now you deserve to be canceled and all these things that they're saying. So I'll read the letter this week and I'll look at more about it. If I'm entirely wrong, I'll say something else about it. But for the first point, it's what I said before. You're A or B. You're doing those two things, and that's bad. And for the second point, everything I said.
I think she, to an extent, had to expect nastiness from people because that's.
And as a woman, she's always expected more because people really hate women online.
They really do.
They really do. Especially attractive women.
I think yes. I think she had to expect backlash in whatever form it came, and I think these are 2 out of the 3 that she's facing that I know of. Could be more. She could not give a shit. I don't know. I don't
Those two
know
that I've
her.
seen.
But to an extent, I think she had to have expected something. So I think she just has to learn how to get beyond it and not let it affect her. I really hope it doesn't affect her because I support her.
I want to support her is my thing. So as soon as I do more research on that letter, I'll have my answer. But for now, it just seems like everyone's hating to hate. And
It
to
does
me,
seem
the
like
fact that
everyone's hating to
it's
hate.
the same thing, I'll say it again, as the Epstein list. Being on that list doesn't mean anything. Everyone's on that list.
Do you
Like,
apply the same logic to the Puff Daddy shit?
I don't know what that is. Who's Puff Daddy? Did he?
Sean Combs, yeah.
What about it?
You haven't heard any of that?
No, I know. I'm saying, what about a list? What does that have to do with
Well, just all of these people that are coming out that are apparently on this list of, they knew this was going on. They were at
No,
these
that's different.
parties. They didn't. And that's what I'm asking you. Do you apply the same thing to them or not really?
I applied the same logic, but the logic doesn't take it to the same place.
Okay.
Because if you're on a Diddy list where you're going to his parties, you're at the parties. If you're on Epstein's flight list, wow. It is,
But-
I guess, similar because you went to the island, but you.
But the thing is this: if you were at the party and you didn't know prior, but when you were there you learned of it and you still stayed, and then you went to another one.
That's what I'm saying.
It would be
Multiple is
one
an
thing
issue.
if you went to a party and you didn't know what was going on, and then you found out at the party.
I assumed if you're-
logic would dictate you either accept it or you immediately leave.
Here's the thing. I assume a flight log means you took a flight once. A party list means you're going to multiple parties.
Right.
That's why it's different.
Right. So what's worse? You
The parties.
Okay.
Because you see it once, you go again, you go again, you go again.
That's what I just said.
Now, of course, Bill Clinton being on his flight log 18 times,
Is a bit.
that's an issue. I'm saying because your name is on a list, you
Right.
took one flight. To me, and that's the issue with the internet, is like, it's so black and white on the internet where, oh, you did this thing, now you're done forever. The whole cancel culture thing. That's not right.
I think
Multiple
everybody
reasons.
deserves a second chance.
I don't think everyone does, but that's something separate.
I think a lot of people do.
A lot of people do. That's
Thank
something
you.
separate. Anyway. So yeah, that was, I thought that was going to take a lot longer.
Jason awake?
Yeah, I'm glad Jason's here today.
Jason,
I'm glad he made it.
Jason's not.
Let me just read through my notes real quick in silence to make sure I didn't miss anything.
Been here.
I saw you.
It's the first of the month.
I saw you. You were like. You were flying. Jeez. Jason, you can't do that. Wake up. Don't yawn. You're live.
Yeah. I think that's all I had to say about it. I was on the camp of rename the band if you have a new singer. Then I heard it, changed my mind. To all the Linkin
you should
Park,
have been
to all the
on-
actual Linkin Park fans out there, Mike chose her, so can you. So can you. That's my
But
point.
the thing is, they had another lead singer before him, so technically your logic doesn't even apply to Chester. It applied prior to Chester.
No, it just
but that's
follows
irrelevant.
under. It just follows under the Panic.
His sister still made the band what it was. If they had a separate singer, it wouldn't have been as big. That's true. Chester made the band what it was, in part. It was 50-50, definitely, at least. I'm just saying, without Mike, there is no Linkin Park. Without Chester, there could be Linkin Park. However unfortunate it is, however much I wish he was still here, and wishing doesn't matter. This is real.
How did he kill himself? Was it shooting or hanging?
No, I believe it was hanging. It definitely wasn't shooting.
Oof.
I think it was very similar to Robin Williams. Yeah.
I could never, in a billion years, harm myself. I'm too much of a pussy to do it. But if I had to, it would be the quickest way out. In other words, I couldn't chance hanging in case I don't actually die.
I don't know, Joel. It has some history that it works.
What do you mean?
Hanging has a long history.
No, I understand that, but I'm saying if
A
it
lot of people do
doesn't
it.
work for me,
But you got a thick neck.
I don't want to. If I'm going to off myself, I'm
No.
going to off myself.
Is everyone going to ignore that? Are we going
What?
to skip by what I just said?
I didn't hear you.
Okay.
I was busy talking.
I skipped by it.
I'm saying if I off myself, I'm going to do it and make sure that I'm off.
Well, I'm glad we've had our weekend days then, Joel. I'm glad that's where it's coming to.
This whole conversation has just been.
No, I said because you have a thick neck was what you were worried about. Get away from me, please.
Right to him.
Get away from me. I don't want to live with my decisions. Get away from me. Do your job. Yes, that's all I had to say about it. It's just like, I mean, like, Soundgarden hasn't come back, and they shouldn't. He died the same year as Chester. But I feel like he was Soundgarden. He was
A lot of people
Audio Slave.
think that the lead singer is the band.
Yeah.
Because he sings the
Because
notes.
just
Yeah.
like
And
Motley
often it's
Crue-
true.
Just like Motley Crue, people think it's Vince Neil because he's the lead singer.
How about
but
this
it's
century?
actually
How about we talk about
Nikki
this
Sixx,
century?
who has written everything and done everything for that band.
To be fair, Nikki
Yeah.
Sixx is the only name I know. I didn't know I never heard of the other name.
Vince Neil,
Yeah, never heard
the
the name.
lead singer. He's
So-
so fat they call him Vince Meal. He's got.
I think I know who you're talking about, actually.
Can I keep calling you Deep Dish then, or is that?
I prefer you call me Deep Dish other than my real name.
Yeah. I mean,
I've already told you I'm fat. I'm not. I'm not stupid enough to.
Stupid
to think
enough.
That I'm not. I am fat.
That may be the most serious thing we ever talk about in this podcast.
I don't know about that, but
Jason didn't talk.
That's true. We.
Jason slept.
Jason, how big of a Linkin Park fan are you? Medium?
not at all. The only
Oh.
album I actually enjoyed. Yeah, no, the only album I actually enjoyed was the one that nobody actually liked at all.
That's the name of
which
the
was
podcast. We're not a fan of Linkin Park here.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
what album?
It was
The
the
Catalyst?
remix. No, it was the remix of the first album,
The
which
Catalyst.
had a lot of other.
Oh,
yeah.
you're talking about
Yeah, the
with
one
the
album.
rapper.
Yeah, with the album where everybody was like, "Oh,
no, everyone
No.
liked that album. I don't know what you're
the
talking
original," because it had like Jay-Z in there for like
Yeah,
1
everyone
minute,
liked
and
that.
everybody was like, "Nah, that's not true."
about.
Linkin
Everyone
Park. I'm
didn't.
like, "Of
No
course
one
it's
liked.
not Linkin Park."
People didn't. A lot of people didn't like Catalyst, and then a lot of people didn't like One More Light. A lot of fucking people.
That's
Some people.
one of my favorites.
Some people
Because
have.
he really like he sings.
Some people have ideas that the backlash of that album is a small reason why he may have done what he did. I don't think that's true, but a lot of people believe that.
I mean, I don't know. It would have thrown me off the edge if you find out he
Don't
wrote
say
all
off
that
the-
song, and then they all
Yeah,
hated it.
edge. You know, I didn't know. I thought the last song. The viral thing about that was that like his last song was "One More Light," where he was singing in the crowd. Voice cracks are heavy today, but apparently that's not true. Apparently his last song was
Hakuna Matata
what was it?
was not a one for day.
Jason.
No, look. So like, my only thing with Linkin Park is what I think maybe the first two albums through and through, but after that, I never was pretty much into them. Funny enough, I got into Panic at the Disco, which is also
The last song I saw was hold on. Crawling,
is-
I guess.
Crawling. Yeah.
Hold on, what's the song? No, yeah, it's One More Light. This is the video I've always seen. And people were like saying, "Oh, he knew what he was gonna do. His eyes look dead. His eyes look like a shark's eyes." They can see the future. But his last song was. It's hard to find. Like I just saw it from Mike saying that it was the last song. So that's how I know it was true. But everyone's just saying the last show, and they want it to be One More Light because it's so emotional. But that's not true. It wasn't his last song. It was some Meteoria song. I can't remember.
My only 2 cents about this whole thing is I'm fine with whatever Linkin Park does at this point. With the new lead singer, like I said before, I think she's got what it takes.
Oh, was that a
probably
play?
just had a.
Fuck.
I think the only thing she probably needs is a lot of direction. Which I mean, with the writer still being
Have I been
alive
saying it
and
wrong?
well,
Meteoria?
I'm pretty sure
Meteora.
they're gonna go pretty. They're pretty gonna go. They're gonna go
Meteoria.
well.
It's,
Have I been saying it wrong this whole time?
it's Meteora.
Well, that's a place in like South America apparently, or Greece.
But that's the name of their album.
Yeah, I've been saying it wrong this whole time. You haven't corrected me once. Deep dish.
I've learned not to correct you.
That's not
'Cause
true.
Then it turns into a 20-minute discussion.
That's not
about me
true.
correcting you. Right, Jason?
No, just usually you correct me in the wrong places. Look at me correcting you how you correct me.
See, I'm
Yeah.
even being corrected about correcting you.
Fuck, I can't remember. Maybe it was what was the first album called?
Hybrid theory.
Yeah, Hybrid Theory.
I will say this. I know a lot of people are probably gonna be very comfortable with Linkin Park for a minute.
It was either One Step Closer or Paper Cut was his last song.
The only
Cool.
thing I could probably say is just enjoy for the ride, because the only band I ever found enjoyment with all the crazy shit that they decided to do would be Panic at the Disco. Since every
You just quit.
album, yeah,
So you're out of luck.
yeah,
Quit to raise his family, son of a bitch.
yeah.
Selfish
But
ass.
in each album, each band member left due to drug overdose, due to writing differences, and
I
due
shouldn't yell,
to
I didn't know that.
actual rehab. And all the way up until the very end, which was his album, being that he didn't know where else he can go. So he went from doing his own music to writing his own album about success and the fact that his band is still alive with just only him being in it, to, I believe, the last album being a live recording of him being kind of his farewell album kind of mentality. This is what I've written. It's all live, quote unquote live, because he did it all in the studio. And he said that's where he's just going to hang up. And then that's where he made his final message, being like, okay, I'm going to take care of my family. I don't see this kind of going any further than that.
I'm fairly indifferent to him. I think he's probably one of the most amazing singers that we have today. But I've
The one
only
the most
listened to
what?
like 6 songs.
The most what?
Amazing singer that we have today.
Oh, amazing. I heard basic and I was like, basic.
Basic.
Yeah. I
He's
was
the
like,
most basic
yeah,
bitch
I
I've
know.
ever
I was
heard.
like, what is basic? Hold on. What is the term for that?
I'm like, what?
No, he's probably the most amazing singer we have today.
Yeah.
And like the public eye.
Yeah, he's been phenomenal with a lot of his stuff. And the one thing why I love about it
Blows
is that
his
he
eyes.
constantly changes every time.
Most range I've ever seen.
Yeah, he really kept the most range.
People say, it's so funny. I see people online saying, oh my God, Billie Eilish has so much range because she sings like this and then she sings like
Yeah.
this. That's not range. If you
Yeah,
want
no,
range,
no.
look at, what's his name?
Oh my gosh, I forget his name.
Yeah, I know.
Panic.
I know it's a weird name.
Brendan Urie.
Brendan Urie. His last name is funny.
Yeah. And that's what I
That's
love.
range. If you want to see range, look at Brendan Urie's vines even.
Yeah, his vines. He really did practice his ranges there, because it did start from him trying to understand what his vocals were, and then finding out his vocals. I think it was maybe the second or third album, and then the last albums were like, well, let's see how far this goes now.
Does he have a theater background?
And
It
then
looks like
I
he
believe so. I actually believe he does have a theatrical
He acts like he
background.
does.
But that was the thing too, is that he just kind of understood that he just wanted, like, Panic at the Disco identity was, I guess you can say, chaos or nonsensical, because each
hope so.
album was different
Panic.
in each way, Yeah, Panic. And that's also why, like,
Sit down exclamation point.
and that's also why I feel kind of just okay with whatever decision they kind of go with with Linkin Park, because yeah, if the key components do change, that sucks. But for what it's worth, if the band name eventually goes downhill, or it becomes a sinking ship, well then we watch it till the very end, and I would rather prefer that than to just have a different brand come all together and be like, this is the new Linkin Park. I'm like, no, don't say it like that. Or this is where the left of Linkin Park stands, because again, it just kind of sounds like you're just trying to get rid of something that
I feel like
wasn't necessarily there.
so far in the community saying the new Linkin Park is a positive, and I think saying the new Linkin Park is fine. People are saying R.I.P. Linkin Park because they're giving up on it, which sucks. But that
Yeah.
to me, that feels like they weren't fans of Linkin Park; they were fans of Chester. In which case, you can go listen to Days Gone and Gray Days and all those things. It wasn't Days Gone; that was a video game. It was like Gray Days or something.
I have no idea. And like I said before,
his other bands. Listen to his other bands. That you feel like Chester so much. Linkin Park is Mike, and that's where I stand with it.
Mhm.
As long as Mike is there, Linkin Park is there.
Yeah. And then, like I said, for the most part, I've only ever been a fan of what I think maybe the first two albums, or at least the remix. I think the remix might have been the second album. I'm not sure.
Jay-Z, I think, was like
But
2009 redone.
yeah, that was it from my only ever knowledge of it. But other than that, I know that their message was just trying to help those who just weren't in the right place. So I felt that the message was positive through and through. I never wanted to disrespect them in any way. So
One more thing I want to say on it was people have lost what it means to have a live show. It didn't sound like they had any auto tune on their mics at all because Mike was kind of out of tone a little bit. He was singing up and down because he was guitar and all that, and then she was up and down a lot. But I feel like anyone would be being that nervous playing with a band as big as that for the very first time, and you're their new lead singer, and you know everyone's judging you, and you know everyone's looking at you, and the crowd was also really dead. They weren't really moving at all, but probably because there was a ton of emotions they were feeling. Because I bet the people who were there, who were signed up for the newsletter and all that, I bet they had seen Chester multiple times, so it was probably a big deal for them. But people online were all like, "Her voice is cracking. Oh, she can't scream. Did she lose her voice already? Look at her." And like voice cracking and all that stuff. I'm pretty sure Chester's voice cracked live sometimes. Although I shouldn't. I don't know if that's true. No, actually, no, it's true. I've heard him crack before. I listen to all his live shows. But people have lost what it means to look at a live show. The reason you go see a band live is to watch them mess up, to see how they sound in nature, to see how they sound, not how they sound produced. And so to have her voice cracking and stuff, that didn't bother me at all. It didn't take any. I noticed it, but I didn't like. It wasn't even a thing because like it's a live performance. People are so used to uh, pop stars and rap stars now. I sound like an old man. Just lip syncing, or not even lip sync, but like just doing their track, singing
vocal
over their
stacking,
track, huh?
vocal stacking.
Like live, like singing over their track, like stop at any point and do these things. They've lost what like a live new metal performance should be. Like anyone who had the chance to see Nirvana live, it didn't sound like their albums because they were just fucking messing around playing live music.
Yep.
And as a band so produced as Linkin Park, obviously you expect more than Nirvana. But
But
to say like to
again,
blame her and say she sucks because she had a voice crack live is insane.
and like I said, I think the only minor complaint that came from that wasn't really a complaint either. I think it's just more like they just didn't want to tell her what direction she needs to be taking with each of these songs. They kind of just said, just go with whatever you think you could sing that song for.
I
And
cried when
because
she
of
sang
that,
Lost.
yeah,
I cried.
like I said, I think she did a pretty good job. Her other music already proved to me a long time ago that, like, okay, she just needs to understand what direction Linkin Park has for her and if she can hit those notes, which she clearly has already done so in her other music.
And I watched a review of the new song. None of the. I wish she would do the Linkin Park technically covers that she did on the live, but of the I can't remember the what's it called? The new song,
No idea.
something machine.
Sewing machines.
Yeah, the new album, Sewing Machine.
It's just the fucked up thing too. Could you imagine they said that and they looked at her?
It's
Sewing
like the
machine.
Nameless Machine or the what's it called? Dang, forgettable apparently.
I'm not too sure what it is.
Hold on, now I gotta think of what I was talking about. Nope, it's gone. All right, I lost what I was gonna say. Got anything else, Jason? For the main show, we can do a Patreon real quick.
The emptiness machine.
Emptiness Machine.
The emptiness machine. I would have never fucking thought of a name like that. That's so.
Good song. I forgot entirely what I was gonna say about it.
The emptiness machine.
Got anything, Jason? Bare feet.
For the most part, nothing. Nothing new.
Right. We had two topics
Thank you
today.
for the birthday wishes on stream. I guess I don't know.
You streamed on your birthday?
Yeah.
I wasn't there. I didn't watch it. Obviously.
Yeah.
I didn't either.
To be fair, he didn't watch this week's podcast episode.
Nope.
Only one view
Busy.
on it. Yep. I didn't watch it either because I was editing.
Thank you.
Because I edited it.
Spending time with family.
I'm
I was not paying
only-
attention.
You think I'm gonna edit it and watch it all the way through?
Do you think that you actually have more than one viewer?
No, the guy who said he watched one episode hasn't watched one since.
It's the thought that counts, damn it. Meanwhile, my views are like getting bigger and bigger.
I just got to post more on his TikTok. I'm sure we'll be fine. We'll get it.
Apparently, my neck is getting bigger and bigger.
My view count hit 70, so I'm very
The
happy.
less
for
likely
that.
you are to hang yourself, I guess.
Not really.
Why, more to wrap around? What?
I don't know what's going on.
On that note,
It'll make the rickety bucket easier to kick out because there's more weight falling down.
What?
make it harder.
There's
What's going on here?
Is that what they mean? Oh my god.
What?
How have I never realized that's what they meant when they said kick the bucket?
What?
It's a suicide reference. Oh my god, I've never noticed. I've never known that.
You haven't noticed that?
Okay, well, on that note then.
This has been the most depressing.
This was Jason.
Hold on.
Oh, my baby doggy. She's got her nails clipped. Sorry.
And this
I
was
think-
me. I think my name's Dylan. I don't even know right now.
He's too sad right now after the whole Linkin Park news.
Bye.
He's very upset.
After the bye, you don't. No need to click.
I'll take care now.
We still haven't done that fucking talent
And you
video
still,
thing.
oh, by the way, can we discuss the unfinished business?
Yeah, we're on Patreon. Go ahead.
Is that good?